areas. The funding program allowed in the Anambra to make input through questions and suggestions. Speaking on infrastructure, Governor Soludo said that a state of emergency has been declared on Anambra roads and assured of constructing durable roads. On waste management, Governor Soludo explained that the policy shift witnessed was to enthrone effectiveness, noting that Anambra must be clean in order to be livable and prosperous, and revealed that the house-to-house waste collection initiative will soon take effect. Reacting on the issue of taxation and revenue generation, the governor said that his administration will operate a tax system that will be very fair on the poor and will ensure the revenue of the state goes to the government for the provision of basic infrastructure to the Anambra, assuring of prudent management of Anambra resources. On education and health, Governor Soludo promised affordable and quality education and healthcare services that will be technology-driven. Speaking on law and order, the governor reaffirmed his resolve for zero tolerance to criminality and touting in Anambra State and noted that the state is prepared to train and empower anyone that turns a new leaf. The wife of the governor of Anambra State, Mrs. Noye Soludo, has called on good-spirited individuals, community and religious leaders, and political representatives to reach out to those taking shelter at different holding centers across the state. Government House correspondent Daniel Ezigwe reports that the governor's wife, who stated this in Awka, said that even though the government is at the forefront of bringing solace to people displaced by the flood, this period also calls for collective show of compassion from everyone who understands the imperative and universality of love. Mrs. Soludo explained that there is no better time for the Anambra spirit of fraternity, love, and charity to manifest than now, stating that the people in the holding camps are all a unit representation of Anambra in need of love. She re-emphasized her concern about the welfare of pregnant and nursing women and children in the centers, especially as it concerns hygiene and general health habits, and appealed to caregivers in the temporary shelters to do more in those areas. The governor's wife, while commending those who have already visited the camps, urged other well-meaning persons to also bring relief out the book. Mrs. Soludo further stated that the state government is doing everything within available resources to help those that have been affected by the disaster and promised to lend her support where necessary. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has warned illegal revenue collectors operating across the state to stay off the roads or face government's wrath. Governor Soludo gave the warning when he visited some strategic points where illegally confiscated vehicles were parked, as well as other places where activities of touts still prevail, including at Twinizik Junction, Awka, Bridgehead, Onitsha, among others. Our Government House correspondent, Emmanuel Okonkwo, reports. Una wasn't a teleprompter at all.
Money meant for government coffers are being diverted into private purses of hoodlums, and warned that his government will no longer tolerate such illegal activity. Governor Soludo re-emphasized the relentless efforts of his administration towards transforming the state, encouraged residents to support the initiative through prompt tax payments and strict adherence to laws guiding the state. He also warned security agents at checkpoints across the state against unnecessary acts that could lead to preventable hold-ups on roads.
We protect law-abiding citizens. I endorse you for my business in a business-friendly atmosphere. Or if I governor, and we are on 24 hours.
Some owners of the illegal confiscated vehicles at Onitsha, Messrs. Nnamdi Ovu and Uzo Chukwueze Ilagu, thanked the governor for coming to their aid and called for stiffer measures against touting across the state, especially around Onitsha, where they describe as headquarters of touts. Others, including Mr. Ebuka Obianeka and Mrs. Ijeoma Tigwe, who appreciated the Soludo administration for its efforts towards redefining governance, suggested that members of the public should be enlightened on recent traffic laws, while the newly recruited Anambra Joint Task Force team should be properly trained on their jobs.
So if there is any new development like this, they should sensitize people well on it to avoid all this things because it was really shocking.
The Managing Director, Anambra State Traffic Management Agency, Mr. Emeka Okonkwo, expressed the readiness of his team towards ensuring the decongestion of the state's routes as planned by the present Soludo government.
With my officers all around Anambra, Anambrarians know that there's a difference in what the traffic situation used to be in Anambra. My workers are on ground, good incentives, and they are ready to work, and they've been working.
The governor also visited former Road Safety Park at the Bridgehead Onitsha, where he released vehicles illegally seized by task force team and refunded 20,000 to 50,000 naira to some owners of the vehicles who had already paid to the team. The Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Felix Odimegu, Chairman, Anambra State Revenue Service, Mr. Richard Madiebo, Special Advisor on Security, retired Air Vice Marshal Ben Chiobi, among others, joined in the visit. From Bridgehead, Onitsha, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The House of Assembly, Anambra State House of Assembly has passed a resolution urging Governor Chukwuma Soludo to implement the already existing laws of the state as it relates to the autonomy of the judiciary and the legislative arms of government. The resolution was sequel to a motion sponsored to that effect by the member representing Egusigo constituency, Honorable Onyebuchi Offor, during plenary. House of Assembly correspondent Chukwuemeka Modelim now reports.
Okafor made the call when the Director, Department of State Services, DSS, Anambra State Command, Mr. Enoch Power, paid him a courtesy visit at Anambra State House of Assembly complex in Oka, while assuring the DSS boss of their partnership in the area of protection of lives and property. The Speaker charged the people of Anambra State to join the fight against insecurity by being free to contact security agencies or the House in case they notice any strange movement or occurrence around their vicinities in the interest of the state. Right Honorable Okafor assured the nation's intelligence agency that the House will pass a couple of bills that will deter people from engaging in crime and other acts capable of destabilizing the peace and progress of the state. The Speaker also appreciated Governor Chukwuma Soludo for all the necessary support he has been giving to security agencies in the war against crime, even as he commended the DSS for the role they played towards arresting the killers of late Honorable.
We sincerely apologize for that mix-up. We'll bring you the story in our subsequent bulletins. Anambra State government has urged residents to adopt safe food and agricultural practices that will promote the general well-being of everyone. The Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Foster Ifejiofor, made the call during a press briefing in Oka in commemoration of World Food Day. Correspondent Ebeleze reports.
Celebrated on October 16 every year, is aimed at celebrating the promotion of food sufficiency and safety, especially during difficult times. This year's World Food Day, which has its theme as Safe Food Today for Healthy Tomorrow, is the more reason why Anambra State is pioneering the transition from commercial chemical-based agriculture to regenerative agriculture. Hence, the successful establishment of Demo-Composting Center for the production of biological inputs for Anambra farmers. According to Dr. Ifejiofor, Governor Chukwuma Soludo's agroeconomic transformation agenda aimed at building a secure economic future for the Anambra through reenacting Dr. Michael Okpala's oil palm revolution, creation of Anambra State coconut economy, and valorization of redundant vegetative ecosystems, has completed the first phase with the distribution of 250,000 oil palm seedlings and 150,000 coconut seedlings to Anambra. He disclosed that the state is currently mapping out areas for the development of year-round vegetable farms across the 21 local government areas of the state, and once operational, they will produce nutrient-dense local vegetables and crops grown according to regenerative principles. Commissioner Ejiofor, who expressed confidence that the economic future of Anambra State is bright, announced government's readiness to plant over 1 million oil palm and coconut seedlings every year, the reactivation of fingerlings production tanks across the state for fish ponds, and a demo farm in the ministry with 16,000 yam seedlings in bags, among numerous achievements in a short period.
Indeed, the ministry is seriously working to actualize Mr. Governor's vision of a livable, prosperous, smart mega city with food security, food as medicine, food safety, and abundant local content for industrial activities, and of course for regional and intra-continental commercial activities.
In Awka, Ebele Eze, ABS News.
Tunde Mark, the first son of former Senate President David Mark, is dead. It was gathered that Tunde died in the early hours of Friday in London, the United Kingdom. Tunde is said to have suffered from cancer and died at the age of 51. The situation surrounding his death is still sketchy. However, it is learned that the corpse is expected to be flown to Nigeria in the coming days. Anambra State Task Force has warned illegal developers against building without approvals across the state as it goes contrary to Governor Chukwuma Soludo's mandate of a livable and prosperous homeland. The State Joint Task Force carried out partial demolition on some structures without approval, while some similar structures were marked for demolition at the old airport site of Idemili South Council area, Marine and Waliwo, Onitsha. Correspondent Ejika Bana has the details.
Speaking to the ABS, Chairman of the State Fiscal Planning Board, Barrister Chike Maduekwe, said that sadly, many government lands which have been released to developers were hijacked by hoodlums who measure the same lands into parts, sell and resell to innocent people who fall into their trap, while stating that those hoodlums also mandate the developers who have previously paid monies to government to pay additional huge amount of monies to them. Barrister Maduekwe said that the state government has paid all necessary compensations to the community and hence they do not have any right to encroach into government property. According to Barrister Maduekwe, the developers have been warned to regularize the buildings they are doing there to avoid demolition. The team equally visited Marine and Waliwo Port Road, Onitsha, to continue with the demolition of illegal structures in the areas. Barrister Maduekwe explained that some selfish individuals have encroached on government land and that of private owners, hence preventing the development of the areas. He added that the Ministry of Land has issued a new policy that anyone doing any project on government land should get a letter of clearance from the ministry before the commencement of any work, after which the developers should go to ANSPPB with the letter of clearance to get building approval.
Operate with His Excellency Mr. Governor to do the good things here. In a matter of maybe months, 12 months, they will see the difference. It will be a better place. His main objective is give Anambra people in the Anambra a livable, prosperous, green homeland stroke mega city. And he's doing a lot of things in that respect. And you can see the massive infrastructure contracts that have been awarded.
While expressing their readiness to partner the state government, Mr. Obibo Nnamdi, Chairman Okwa Family Land Committee, Umuase Village, Onitsha, said that they complained to government when they started seeing the activities of some illegal developers in the area, advising the state citizenry that things should be done decently and in order.
Some private individuals took the place from the family without the consent of the family. They erected structures that are not permitted by the government. The government did not authorize them to construct whatever they placed here. That is why we applied to the government, and thank God that the present governor saw it and he reasoned with the family to make this place better for the family as well as for the state.
Also speaking, the Secretary of Okwa Family, Mr. Victor Arinze, commended the action of government to keep everywhere sane and praised the governor for particularly trying to control the drainage system, expressing optimism that those who were served notices will comply.
We are ready to partner with the government. Already we are with the government. They are the one doing the job for the family. Because they have seen and verified that the illegal squatters staying here are not the rightful owners of the estate. This place is called Evangelist Street and is Wally Walk. So since government is ready to partner with the family, we are ready to partner with the government.
The task force also visited Isu village in Oba, where they served notices, marked all the illegal structures being built in the area for demolition, as well as Nkwale Zunaka, where some partial demolitions were carried out.
On the foreign scene, Chad's President Mahat Idris Deby has declared a state of emergency over flooding that is affecting more than 1 million people in the country. Floods are not common during Chad's rainy season, which usually runs from May to October in its southern regions. However, this year the rains came earlier and were the heaviest in decades. President Deby said in a televised address to the nation that starting now, the state of emergency will be instituted to better contain and manage this natural disaster. The flooding has affected 636 localities in 18 of 23 provinces in the country. The worst affected are the southern provinces of Mayokebi Estate, Logone Occidental, Tanjil, Moyenchari, and Mando. In sports, Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen is in line to make his first start for Napoli since his return from injury against Roma on Sunday. Napoli will make the trip to the Stadio Olimpico to face Roma, and many have wondered who will lead the line between Osimhen and Giacomo Raspadori, who was in fine form when the Nigerian international got injured. The Italian stood up to the challenge, scoring 4 goals in Osimhen's absence. However, Osimhen has made an amazing return to the team, coming off the bench to score in both games since his return, completing the scoring in a 4-2 win over Ajax and scoring the winner in the 3-2 victory over Bologna. According to reports, Napoli manager Luciano Spalletti has already decided who will lead the line. Remember, you can follow ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television Oka. Subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV or log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Before we go, here are the main points again. We told you that Governor Soludo has bared his mind on his administration's agenda for the Anambra. Mrs. Soludo has urged privileged individuals, groups to assist displaced persons. Former Senate President David Mark's son has died. We also told you that Chadian government has declared state of emergency over flooding. Remember that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's continue to give him maximum support for the task ahead. Thanks for joining us on the news this morning. I am David Obokwasile.